Yeah, thank you so much. And I did want to go ahead and read a little bit about Amy and introduce you to her. So she's been a certified personal trainer and a group exercise instructor for over 20 years. In addition, she has been a massage therapist since 2004. Drawing from her experience in many athletic activities, she designs and facilitates fun and engaging exercise programs for all fitness levels and goals. She teaches a wide variety of classes, including HIIT, aqua, Zumba, Pilates, yoga, sports conditioning, kickboxing, step aerobics, boot camp, arthritis, Parkinson's, and strength. Whew, it's a lot. Her teaching style is part teacher, part coach, encouraging mindful and purposeful movement with a playful spirit. When she isn't teaching, Amy enjoys biking, rollerblading, dancing, circus arts, and adventuring with her energetic children. So please join me in welcoming Amy.
Hello. Good to see you guys today. I see a few familiar faces and names out there, so it's fun to see some of the people who take my classes on a regular basis. You'll see a lot of stuff that we work on together. And I'm really happy to be able to offer this for a lot of new people who haven't met. So a couple of things that I want to say before we get started. This is an active class, so you can choose to participate or just watch, maybe take notes. But I want to make sure above everything that you're safe today. Number one, we are going to be doing a lot of moving, so no socks definitely. Good supportive shoes with a little bit of good traction or grip is important so you don't slip out. Do check out your surroundings, make sure that there's nothing there. If you have pets, you might want to secure those. We are going to be using a chair. So you want to make sure that your chair is sturdy, stable, and that as you get up and down, that it's not going to flip out from underneath you. All right, I'm going to be starting out with some chair exercises that are good for people who maybe are not as ambulatory, and then we're going to be progressing from there. So listen to your body above everything else. 100% of what I offer may not be right for everybody doing this today. So just do what feels just right for you, what feels safe for you. And we're going to get started. So we're going to be starting out seated in our chairs. All right, so having a seat, we're going to sit kind of towards the front edge of your chair so your legs have a little bit of room to move. We want to put those feet hip width apart. So your hip joint, your knee joint, and your feet are all in line with each other. So we're going to start out by doing a few nice breaths here. So we're going to take a nice big inhale, draw the arms up, and exhale. Reach them down. Let's do that 2 more times. Big breath in and out. 1 more breath. And exhale down. All right, just going to roll those shoulders up, back, and down a few times. Stretch them back. And let the arms rest by your sides. We're going to drop your head down to one side and roll it around to the other side. And we're going to keep going. Let's go 1 more time to the other side. All right, and let's bring it back to center. All right, so we're sitting up really nice and tall, engaging your belly muscles, and let those arms rest by your side. We're going to do some heel raises. Let me scoot back a little bit. So we're going to lift your heels up and down, heels up, heels up. So you're coming up to the balls of your feet here. So we want to try to make sure the feet are going straight up and down, so they're not rolling out at your ankle at all. Pressing the balls of your feet through the floor. So we're strengthening those calf muscles, getting some nice ankle mobility here. All right, and then instead of lifting the heels, we're going to lift the toes. Lift the toes, lift, and they might not lift a whole lot, and that's okay. So now strengthening the front of your feet, your shins, lift. As you lift, you can even spread out those toes inside your shoes. And now we're going to rock back and forth. Lift your heels, lift your toes. Lift your heels, lift your toes. We're going to be really intentional with this. So as you lift, we're not just rocking, but we're really lifting and pressing and lifting and pressing. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Now we're just going to do a little march in place. You can let those arms start to naturally just kind of swing by your sides, lifting your knees up and down. And you want to try to keep the knees and the feet that hip width apart. Notice if they like to wander at all. We're going to keep them right there. And then we're going to go fast, little fast feet. And let's go big and slow again. And again, we're going to go really fast. And let's slow it down. All right, we got one more. Little kick feet. And slow it down. So we're going to take this and we're going to start to add a tap across your body. So you're going to let your torso just kind of twist a little bit with this. And you want to make contact of your palm to the inside of your leg. Now you don't have to lift a whole lot. And just let your body naturally kind of swing with it. Twist, twist, twist. All right, and then we're going to turn this into a little kick and kick and kick. So from here, we're pulling those toes back towards your face, and we're going to have a little squeeze on the front of your thighs. So it's trying to sit up nice and tall. A lot of people don't have a lot of flexibility, so if you find your back is rounding and you can't quite sit up, just keep your feet a little bit lower. You don't have to lift them super high. And now we're going to add on to this. So we're going to lift, point your toes, pull them back, take it down. Other one, take it. Heel, toes, back. This is what it looks like from the side. Up, push, back, and down. Take it. Heel, toes, back, and down. So we're still trying to sit nice and tall. We are breathing throughout the movement. Up, point, back, and down. One more time on each side. Really stretch it, point it, pull it last time. Up, out, in, and down. All right, we're just going to tap the floor beside us here. Little lift. So this is really good for your proprioception, knowing where those feet are, getting some nice balance between both sides of the body. Tap. And now we're going to do little heel jigs to the front of you. Heel and heel and heel. And heel, heel. Let's go. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. All right, so check out those feet. Make sure that they still are not hip width apart. So we're going to be doing some sit to stands. So it's very important that your chair is secure. Sometimes people kind of lose their balance as they lift. So make sure your chair is secure. If you have a helper there, they might stand behind your chair if you need a little more support. So we're perched forward towards the edge of the chair a little bit. I want to really feel that your feet are in contact fully with the floor. We're going to lean forward, nose over toes, and press yourself all the way up, nice and tall. And then we're going to go slow motion. Reach your butt way back and put yourself back in your chair. All right, so lean forward, press your way up, and then reach your hips back, 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 and find your chair. All right, so if this isn't appropriate for you, you might just try to lift a little bit. Okay. One thing we can think about is those feet. Are we pressing evenly in both feet to push your feet through the floor? We're engaging your core muscles to pull those belly muscles in, just hugging support for your back. Let's go a couple more times, just like that, nice and tall. And then we're going to be staying at the top of this next one. All right, from here, we're going to walk around to the back of your chair. Now, for all of this, you're going to be behind your chair, but I'm going to move mine out of the way so you can see what's happening a little bit better. All right, so you're going to take your feet a little bit wider than your hips for this one. And then we're just going to shift your weight from side to side. Side to side, just shifting your weight from one to the other. We're going to have a nice and even on both legs. If you are seated in your chair, you can still do this little shift on your hips from side to side. We're looking to be even on both sides. Shift and shift. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. All right, so what we're going to do now is stagger. So one foot is forward, a little more, one foot is back a little more. Okay, we're going to shift your weight forward into your front foot and back into your back foot. Now make sure, especially on the way back, that you don't let your center of gravity go too far back. Sometimes people go way too far back and they can't catch themselves. So just going to rock forward and back. What, front foot heavy, back foot heavy. So what you want to notice is that we're not really letting the body, the center of gravity is not not traveling past your foot in the front or in the back. Okay? You can start to add a little toe raise and heel raise, and toe raise and heel raise. Lift and lift and lift. Really try to get some range of motion out of those feet. Really lift your heel. Lift your toes. And let's go 2 more times, just like that. And 1 more time. All right, let's do your other side. So first of all, we're just going to shift. Because, maybe we're not symmetrical. Maybe you've got one side you had an injury, or maybe you had a stroke, and one side is not as secure as the other. So this is a great way to get some balance between the sides of your body. And shift. So really getting a sense of that center of gravity. Begin to tune into that center of gravity. Let's start to add our feet to it. Lift your heel and lift your toes. Lift and lift. This is really great for helping us avoid catching our toes as we walk. So keep trying this rock. So as we go forward, sometimes this back foot wants to catch on the floor. So this is a really great, by really lifting the toes and the heels, we're strengthening those muscles so that those toes clear the floor. Let's go 2 more, and 1 more, and done with those. All right, so from here, you've got your chair in front of you. If you need it for a little balance, we're gonna take your feet just slightly wider than your hips. Here, we're gonna do some squats. So we're gonna reach your hips back behind you, and then press up. So your heels are heavy, but not so heavy that you're going to fall backwards. You're going to allow your torso to tip forward a little bit. So one way you could think about this is that there's a wall behind you, and you're going to reach back and touch your butt on the wall behind you. Sometimes we call these hip bumps or wall bumps. And you can let your arms counterbalance if you'd like to. As your hips go back, you can reach your arms forward. Feel your feet on the floor. Feel that nice, secure support. Your toes should be on the floor. Your heels are just a little heavier. And let's do 1 more, just like that. Reach it and up. All right, so you're still facing forward. I'm just showing you it's a little better vantage point here. We're going to lift your heels up off the floor. Press the balls of your feet through the floor. If you need to, you can use your chair for a little bit of balance. It is helpful, first of all, engaging that core always. Squeeze your glutes a little bit so you have this kind of support structure all around your middle so you don't tip forward. Pressing down through the floor to get up, lifting through the crown of your head, up, and 1. All right, so now instead, now be careful with this one. We don't want to rock too far backwards. So we're just going to lift your toes up off the floor. They're probably not going to go very far, right? But lift and lift. And you can use your chair for a little bit of balance if you need to. Lift the toes, lift the toes. And again, think about that center of gravity here. So we're not going to let the center of gravity move a whole lot. We're going to put those together. Lift your toes, lift your heels. Lift your toes, lift your heels. Pressing through the floor, we're kind of rocking on that foot. So you can start to feel this rocker action, striking on your heel and rolling to that push-off. Okay, this translates into that foot in front, rolling through and pushing off the back. So that's a component of our gait that we're working on to help really propel you forward. All right, so let's go and take a break from that. So probably you're feeling those calves a little bit. So we're going to do a little stretch. So you can use your chair for support if you'd like. We're going to step 1 foot way back and press your heel down into the floor. Going to stand up really nice and tall through your spine. So pressing your heel down. We're also letting this hip come forward, getting some nice hip extension here. And we're just going to hang out and breathe for a little bit. We're going to let the shoulders relax, face relax, enjoy your stretch. When we hold these, you might hold for 20 to 30 seconds if you're on your own. All right, and let's switch and do your other side. Press your heel to the floor, reach your hips forward. We want to make sure that this front knee doesn't go past your ankle or so make sure that you're not kind of in this precarious position. Okay, tailbone is down, crown of the head is up. enjoying your stretch. And let's bring it forward. All right, so we're going to make that a little more dynamic. So now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to take the right foot back, go into that stretch. A lot of weight still in your front leg, and press into your front leg to come back to center. So other foot's going to reach back and come together. That's what it looks like from the side. Press back and step together. Now your back might just be a little big. You don't have to go really big with this. Maybe your back in front is small, and that's okay. And maybe it's bigger. But really feel that front leg has most of your weight. Okay, your back leg is a little lighter, and you really feel that support. Good, let's go one more time. Reach it back, stretch, and together, and stretch, and together. All right, very good. So I hope you guys are feeling good with this. We're going to change positions just slightly. So you want to come to the side of your chair, and your chair should be right here so that in case you need it, it's there for support. So from here, we're going to do some heel digs. Now a chair is out of the way, so you can do this. So you'll notice we did this in our warm-up on our chair. And if you're not ambulatory, you're not able to stand, you can do this in your chair as well. All right, so you are pressing your heel through the floor, lifting those toes just like we did before. And then if you're feeling really confident with this, go ahead and turn it into that kick that we did before. Alternating kick and kick and kick. And more than like a powerful kick, it's more of a squeeze. So as you extend your leg, you're squeezing the front of your thigh and squeeze for 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. So now we're just going to do one leg only. We're going to balance. So we're going to press forward through the heel, toe, heel. Yours doesn't have to be very high. Maybe yours is right in front of you. Or maybe you stay with that heel dig. You're balancing. Your pelvis is level. So make sure you're not sinking out into this hip here. Good. Keep breathing. 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Let's do your other side. So either a heel dig and tap, or you're going to kick it, press. So heel, toes, heel, toes. We're going to use as much control and deliberate movement as possible to make sure we're not letting the leg fall down to the floor. You can always do fewer reps than I'm recommending. So if you fatigue and you need to stop, do that. Let's go 2 more and 1. All right, guys, we're going to do a little march in place here. Just get everything all flowing again. All right, so we've got this march in place. You can make it big, you can make it small. It's totally up to you. So then what we're going to start to do with this is we're going to let your right foot go forward and backward. Now you don't have to make it very big. You can hold your chair if you need to. You can go slowly. Okay, you can go faster. It's up to you. Rock. Now when we land on the floor coming forward, we're going to let the heel come down first. Heel to the toe. So feel your front foot especially. Rock. Now you don't have to go back very far. We're not really trying to go back. We're really reaching forward. Now you can start to make this bigger if that feels good for you. And again, we want that center of gravity to never go beyond our base of support for now. And reach. Now if you'd like to, you can start to add your opposite arm. So when your right foot goes forward, your left arm goes forward. You can begin, if you feel confident, you can make it even bigger. Reach it out. Or maybe yours is right here and you're just touching, rocking slowly. Okay, let's go 2 more and 1 more and back. So we're right here and we're just going to do a little tap to the side and tap to the side. Keep breathing here. I know that last one might have got your heart rate up a little bit. You can hold on or not. So you're tapping beside you, holding that balance. Center of gravity stays right where it is. Your leg goes out from underneath you. 2 more and one, and done with those. Just gonna kind of take some pressure out of the legs and hips, march it out for just a moment, and we're gonna do some leg swing. So one more time, we're gonna balance on this leg. Now make sure you're not locking out your knee here. And we're gonna let this right leg swing forward and back. So this is what it looks like from the side. Gonna swing nice and easy, kind of like a pendulum really. Rock and rock. Yours might be small, yours might be big. Keep this pelvis nice and stable so we don't want to fall into that pelvis. Keep both sides of your hips lifted. Good. Keep breathing. And done with those. All right, so we're going to do the other side. All right, so coming to your other side, we're going to start with that march in place again. So we're going to get everything moving. And then we're going to take this left leg forward and back. So we've got you right here in case you need your chair. That side is free for you. And forward and back. And forward. So again, remember when we're coming forward, we're going to intentionally land on your heel and we're going to rock forward to the ball of your foot. Rock and back. And rock and back. You can start to make it bigger if that feels good for you. And then we're going to start to add that opposite arm. So when your left foot goes forward, your right arm reaches forward and reach and back. And reach and back. You can make it even bigger, letting your body start to really come forward, but not past your foot, not for now. 2 more, and 1 more, and bring it back. All right, so holding our center of gravity, and we're just going to take a little tap to the side. Tap. So we're working on our balance here. We're moving, touching very softly and intentionally. Really working this balance. We're breathing. And touch. And touch. 3 and 2 and 1. And let's just march it out. Let everything get all happy. All right, so we're going to stand on that right leg again. And then from here, we're going to do a little leg swing. So you're going to let this left leg swing forward and back. When you go back, watch this lower back. Sometimes it wants to overarch on us. So pull those belly muscles in to help support your lower back. You might even feel these muscles in your hips, your glutes start to fire for you. But we're really just kind of letting the legs swing. Let's go 2 more, 1 more, and done with those. Okay, so from here, depending on how confident you are, so if you are less confident about your balance, you might turn yourself to the side so that your chair is here. We're going to be traveling forward and backward. And if you're a little more confident, we're going to go forward and back next to your chair here. So first of all, check out your surroundings. Make sure that you have plenty of clearance forward and backward. All right, and we're going to do a little balance beam walking here. That's why we want to make sure we're safe. So we're just going to try to connect your heel to your toes. We're just going to take about 4 steps forward and then back. Okay, if this is a challenge for you, you might make sure you've got something handy to hold on to. If you have a helper there or someone who's able to give you a little support, you can even have them hold your hands for you. So really begin to connect your brain to the soles of your feet. Feel your feet coming in contact with the floor and back. Keep breathing with this. And going back to where you have your chair handy if you need it, we're going to hold our balance here. So holding this balance beam, your feet are right behind each other. Now, to make this a little less challenging, you could give yourself a little wider balance beam. All right, keep breathing. All right, and then 3, 2, 1, and switch. Which foot is in front? So make sure we're not locking out the knees, just a little softness in those knees. And then core, 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 core. Keep breathing, keep holding for 3 and 2 and 1. All right, let's come to stand behind our chairs facing forward. And again, I'm just going to move my chair so you can see what's happening a little bit better. And then we're going to go to a little side step. A little side and together, and side and together. Okay. Again, that center of gravity is not going to go past your foot here. So really getting a sense of that connection between your base of support and your center of gravity. We're moving very intentionally, side to side and side. Now, if you'd like to, you can just put your little tippy toes on the floor right there. Those of you who feel more confident might come to the side and balance. You can make it small, so some of you guys might be just going side to side. This is kind of a progression of that weight shift that we did before. Good, and if you have your chair in front of you, we're gonna hold and balance. Keep holding, keep breathing. And switch and hold. Keep breathing for 3, 2, 1, and both feet on the floor. All right, so then we're going to do a little variation of this. So from here, we're going to take a big step, open up your body really nice and big, and bring it in again. So big wide base and together. Big wide base and together. So we're going to connect those arms and legs and out and together. Big step and together. Let's go 4 more and 3 more and 2 more and 1 and together. All right, you're still back behind your chair. We're going to go back into those squats, so a little more progression from what we did before. And we're going to add our calf raise at the top. So push back through your heels. You don't have to use your chair. You can reach your arms forward if you'd like to. Lift and reach. Press your feet through the floor. Okay, hips go back and press. You don't have to go really deep. Maybe yours, you just bend a little bit. Maybe just reach your hips back a little and press. And reach. Nice and tall. Press and lift. 2 more. Reach and press. 1 more. And done with those. All right, so we're going to do a similar exercise. Just feet are staggered this time. So you're not really on a balance beam. You have a little bit of space between those feet. And again, we're just going to bend your knees, go down a little bit, and press up to the balls of your feet. And then go down and press. And squat a little bit and press. This is a little smaller movement than what we did before with our squats. And lift. Still want your feet to go straight up and down. Sometimes those ankles want to roll out on you. Up, 2 more, squat, and lift. 1 more, down, and lift. Let's switch sides. All right, and then again, we're gonna squat down a bit and lift. Now, nothing that we do should hurt your joints. So if your knees are hurting, if your back is hurting, maybe the exercise, maybe you're going too big, maybe your alignment is off, or maybe it's just not right for you right now. So listen to your body. We want effort, but we don't want any pain. Go down, and good. Let's go 1 more time. Take it down, and lift. All right, so you should be feeling those calves again. So we're going to do a little stretch. So come to stand beside your chair again. Going to use it for a little bit of balance here. And then going to take your right foot forward in front of you. And then we're just going to tip your hips back. This is what it looks like from the side. So you've got your right foot forward. You're bringing your toes back towards your face. And you're just going to stick your butt back a little bit. Pull your belly muscles into your body. You are actively pulling those toes back towards your face. And we're going to push your toes down, pull your toes back. Toes down, toes back. Toes down, toes back. One more time. All right, and bring it on up. Let's do your other side. Foot is forward, belly is engaged. You're gonna sink your butt back. So what you should feel here is that you're pulling your hips up and back away from your foot, and then you're pulling your toes back so that we really elongate that whole back side. Toes down. Make sure you're using those belly muscles to protect your back. Toes down, pull it back. Toes down, pull back. Lift. And two more. And one more. And done with those. All right. So from here, guys, we're just going to kind of move those hips around a little bit. So let your hips, you're going to bend one knee, bend the other knee. Little side to side. And then we're going to do a little pelvic tilt. So you're going to tuck your tailbone under and back. Tuck it under. Now, a lot of people have some pain when they go back, so you don't have to go very big. You can think about your pelvis like a soup bowl, and you're just going to let yourself, everything pour out the back of the soup bowl and out the front of your soup bowl. Okay, all right. And a little side to side, little front and back. Excellent. All right, so we're going to get moving a little bit more again. So we're going to progress things just a little bit more. So now we're going to go back to our side here. And we're going to come back to our marching that we were doing. So we're going back to our marching. All right, now this one requires just a little bit more commitment, a little bit more balance. So just like we did in our chairs, we're going to slow this down and add. So if your legs don't come up that far, that's okay, just lift a little bit. We're really going to try to connect your hand to your leg if you can. You could always sit back down again and do this one seated if you need to. And we're letting that body, that torso, just gently, it's not a huge rotation. We're just kind of letting it organically swing with the movement. Tap. Now, if you felt comfortable with this, you could travel a little bit forward and a little back. There's lots of people participating today. This may not be appropriate for all of them. And travel a little bit forward. And travel a little bit back. All right, and back to a little march in place. All right, so with this march in place, we're going to take this right foot forward and back again. We're going to go forward and back, and forward and back, forward. Now what we're going to do is make this bigger than we did before. So now you're going to see as you rock forward, we're going to let that heel come off the floor. So now you're going to begin to push with a little bit more gusto forward. And maybe you let your center of gravity travel just a little bit further forward as you press into the ball of your foot. And maybe you add just a little bit of a calf raise right there at the front. Again, this may not be appropriate for everyone. You can make yours smaller. Okay, and forward. So we're really going to start to use those arms. So we're going to marry together your whole body. Reach and back. And lift and back. Reach and back. Reach. Be careful on the way back. Sometimes that's where people lose it and it's hard to catch yourself. Well, let's go one more time. And reach and back. All right, let's do your other side. So taking that other foot, that left foot forward and back. Beginning to make it bigger. So remember that we're landing on the heel and rolling, using that nice rocker action. Roll and press to the ball of that foot. Lift. So this is where we get that really nice confident stride when we're walking. It's important as we reach forward that you lift your toes and try to land with that heel. Again, this helps to keep us from doing that, catching that toe and stumbling forward. All right, reach. Let's do a couple more times. Start to really add those arms, letting your whole body be a part of the action here. Rock and back and rock. Two more times. Bring it up. One more time. And reach and back. All right, excellent. So So that probably got your heart rate up a little bit. We're going to do a couple things here to bring that heart rate down a little bit. So your chair is here should you need it for balance. And we're going to do sundials. So here's our sun. I'm going to scoot forward a little bit. So I want you to imagine you're in the middle of a sundial right now. And we're going to step forward and rock your body just to the front, just to the 12 of your sundial. Then we're going to go over here to the 11 and the 10 and the 9. And we're just going to shift your weight. Your chair is here if you need a little bit more support. All right. So again, we're going to do the same thing again. So we're going to touch every point of your sundial. So for this variation, we are moving the center of gravity. So you're taking your whole body with you. We're going to change that in a minute. So come forward. Now, with this variation, what we're going to start to do is imagine that you're falling forward and use your leg to catch you. And then catch. So again, don't let that center of gravity travel past your foot. The idea is that should you trip, catch your foot or whatever, you want to be able to catch yourself. So when you do this, you want to kind of soften into that leg and let the muscles absorb and hold you. All right, so we're taking that sundial all the way around and side and back. Okay, so now we're going to do the opposite. Now we're going to keep your center of gravity on the same spot. And we're just going to touch your foot on each point of your sundial. Okay? Make sure you keep breathing. Sometimes when we balance like this, we hold our breath. So relax a little bit with this and breathe. Tap and tap. Just barely touching that foot on the floor. Let's go one more time all the way around and side and back. All right, now you might want to be on the other side of your chair if you were using that for some support. That way now this hand is free to help you out. And again, we're going to step, so just a little step forward, going to 12 and 1, depending on which way your clock is facing, 2. And just shift your weight into that leg, working all the way around your sundial. And back. Good. You can make these as big as you want. They don't have to be super big, not really. Really increasing our proprioception. Where are we? Where is that leg underneath you? Connect your brain to those feet. We're also strengthening the muscles that support your joints to keep you from continuing to travel forward. Letting your muscles absorb that energy moving rather than your joints. All right, so now we're going to start to do our little, we're going to stop, catch yourself. So you kind of fall into it a little bit. So you can even let your body just a little bit fall into it and then let the muscles absorb. And catch. And catch. Okay. Take only as much of this as it feels right for you. This might not be right for you today, but maybe it's right for you in a couple weeks or tomorrow. Go and make this your last one, stepping back. All right, so now keep your center of gravity on the spot. Keep that pelvis nice and level. Engage those belly muscles. We're working your posture like crazy here. And again, we want to relax. Sometimes we tense up whenever we're doing our balance exercises. So relax your face, relax your arms. Make this look like it's easy. We're breathing. Just keep touching that sundial. Those of you who want to challenge might even just not even touch that foot to the floor when it comes to center. I know this might be right for everyone, but you could try it if you feel like you're ready. And let's go one more time here. All right, excellent. All right, just kind of move around, shake it out. All right, well, I hope that was fun for you. We're going to do some stretching now. So a lot of our gait is influenced by the range of motion available to our joints. So we're going to do some nice stretches. So you can make your way down to have a seat in your chair. Feel free, by the way, to